A question I am living with right now in so many ways is the liberation of women. Now, this is not a new topic. And what I'm really curious about and what I'm really interested in and what is a key mission of mine is to do all I can with my life, my experience, my education, all the ways I've synthesized all of that to be a conduit for that to take place, to be a messenger, to be the voice that encourages that in any way, shape, or form I can to reach as many women as possible. But I want to talk about why this is so important, besides perhaps some of the obvious reasons that a woman being free and a woman feeling free, what that might be. And let me get a little bit more specific, because to me, I'm defining liberation and freedom as every woman knowing that she is a sovereign being. And that means that even women that are in different parts of the world, that happen to have been born in different parts of the world, that don't experience the same freedoms that perhaps I've experienced being born and raised in this country, which in many ways is up for debate lately. But I'm very aware of my privilege, and I am a Mexican American woman. I am second generation, and I'm half white. So I'm aware of the freedoms and the proximity to whiteness and what that has provided me. I also have lived very much an experience of being and relating as a Mexican woman, and living in a country where I feel has not valued and still doesn't value the Latino cultures. That being said, I'm talking about the inner liberation, the inner freedom, the freedom that comes through when you know experientially that you are sovereign. And sovereign is the awareness that you are in charge of yourself. You are in charge of what operates you. You are in charge of what you allow to take up space in your mind. You feel that, you move into that. If it feels very intellectual, then you experiment with that. But this video isn't about teaching sovereignty. It's really about this exploration that I have, this quest I feel to create experiences and to ignite the message about the liberation of women. And I feel like there are so many benefits to a woman feeling liberated and free. There are so many benefits to a woman's life experience when she feels free, when she feels liberated. And then there are so many benefits to everything that's near her, and then of course the world. When a woman is free, then she is more connected to her feminine. She is more aware of her range, of her softness, of her presence, of what happens when she's in that place. Because when we're in that place of freedom, of real freedom, where we feel free from the inside out, we're not needy, we're not expectant, we're not demanding, we're not stuck in illusions of separation, we're not seeking love to feel whole. We are coming from a more full place where we know our wholeness, where we know that we are worthy just because we're here, and we are whole because we were born that way, and we will leave that way, no matter what happens, no matter what's happened on this physical plane. What's also true for me in all this, that I'll be sharing in and out of these videos, and maybe I'll share videos just about this topic, is that my orientation to being in this human life is that I am not a human with a soul. I am a soul having, using, and learning from my human experience. And when I became aware of that as an available a way of understanding who I am and why I'm here, my life changed dramatically for the better. It also became a deeper level of responsibility. So there's depth and breadth to that. But it ultimately it took the pressure off of the suffering, not completely, but in many ways, when I was just relating to myself as this person here in this world who now is at the mercy of just what's happening here. But when I started to create a spiritual practice and spiritual experience, then I became connected to a dimensionality of that I am in this vessel, that I chose the family that I came through, that my name is Jennifer, but that's not who I am, and that all the things that happen in my life are part of my curriculum, my school curriculum, because my soul chose to come here to learn. I get to have this life. So how that relates back to this liberation is creating this voice, this dialogue, and then these experiences where women can become more connected to what does it mean for her? What does it mean for you to feel free, to know that you are not stuck, to know that no one is controlling you, to know that you can actually create something different, to know that you can change your circumstances. I'm not saying that you, unless you're Samantha from Bewitched, that I've just dated myself, but can you like do it with a wand? And there are steps that occurred in your life and choices that you made that supported how your life right now. So there's absolutely things that you can do to shift all of that. And I'm not saying that's easy. That's not at all what I'm saying. Please don't misunderstand. My life has not been easy. Maybe easier than others, but it has not been easy. That being said, what I'm talking about is an inner liberation that when you feel that, you're unstoppable. It's like, it's not about your life looking a certain way. It's not about how many zeros are in your bank account. It's not about any of those external things that we evaluate our worthiness, our okayness against. It's about becoming connected to the understanding that you are a beautiful, empowered, wholehearted woman that came here because you chose this life, and there's so much here for you. So I'm really curious about how we're living at a time that is like so multi-generational. I'm Gen X, and I do feel like sometimes I was born a little early. I feel I have much more of a nature of questioning things. I always did. I always felt like a slightly square peg round hole in the life as I knew it when I was journeying, from my adolescence into my teenage years, high school, etc. I was struggling a lot because I didn't have the financial means that pretty much all my friends had, but I wanted to keep up and I wanted that experience because I wanted to feel successful and safe and that I had all the same opportunities that they might have. And that being said, the opportunity is always to self-reflect and to take stock of where we are, of where you are, so that you can see, like, how liberated am I? How free am I? And what is it that what is it that's in my way? What is it that I believe is in my way? What are the thoughts that I'm thinking about my life right now, about what I want to create, about my future? Because a lot of what's keeping us not feeling free are the thoughts, are the beliefs. It's the meaning that was made of every situation that's occurred in your life. And that a lot of that's happening without your conscious awareness. But that's how the brain works. It is attempting to understand all the time. And when we were little, it was happening. And that's how we derive part of our personality, which is our personal reality. So I'm really curious about this opportunity to bring this message of freedom, of liberation, I believe our world needs empowered women now more than ever. And there was a time, many, 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 many thousands of years ago, where the matriarch was in charge, and we lived in a different kind of society where we were in community, where it was more of a partnership model. And this is not my expertise. I have a friend who's very educated and studying history and women's history for decades, and I've learned so much from her. But I believe that there's an opportunity here for women to become more connected to their own inner liberation and to move towards that experience, that intention. And it starts from the inside out. And these are skills that we have not been taught. And in many ways, I feel like personal growth and inner exploration has had this either typecast, like the woo, which then gets not stigmatized, but trivialized, or it's in the mental health and it's been stigmatized, or that it's like fluff and not essential, when it is absolutely the only thing that's in our way. Everything that's happening in the world right now has been created by humans, and all the dis-ease that we see and that we're experiencing was created by humans that are living that within. So I just feel very called to reach women, to connect with women, to be the voice of encouragement, and to create experiences and places and spaces for you to experience that, so that you can become more and more connected to that and become more and more viscerally and experientially aware of the power of that in your life. Okay. Thank you for listening. I'm Jennifer Herrera. That's my name. And I will see you tomorrow.